Okay, everyone, we're back. We're just having like some technical difficulties on the last one. So I'm gonna try to bring my cuz back in here so we can really get this started. Sorry for all the commotion, but we just trying to get it right, trying to make sure things is good on my end, things is good on his end. But hey, we just trying to give y'all a fire episode. So be patient with your boy. So we're just waiting on him to get in here. Yeah, I'm gonna bring y'all that heat, like always. Hello, everyone. I'll be right back. Light was all the way down there. That's crazy. All right. Okay, there he is. Just gonna wait for him to come in here. Okay, there we go.
Great, great. We're where we need to be now.
Man, finally,
That's what's
man.
up.
Man, finally. Yeah,
And man,
so,
you know how I go. I
hey,
ain't tech savvy like that,
hey,
bro.
it's all good, man. I ain't tripping, man, but I'm just really excited for this
I am
episode.
too, man. I ain't even gonna waste no time. I'm gonna just get right up on in it.
Okay,
So
man, you got the floor.
awesome. Now, that's my brother. You know, some of y'all don't know that. That's my brother. We've been brothers our whole lives. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Biologically, we're cousins. Both our moms are sisters.
yeah.
So, you know, um, our family is the Alfords.
Mm-hmm.
So the Alfords, you know, they came from Foxworth, Mississippi. They came about, 1969, 1970. Our grandma brought our parents up, when they were around in middle school. Um, most of the black families in Saginaw, they either gonna hail from Mississippi or Arkansas. Most of them. You got some folks from Georgia. You got some folks from Alabama. You get some folks from Tennessee. I knew some from Texas too. You might have some folks from like South Carolina. You ain't gonna get anybody from Florida. You rarely see anybody from Louisiana or Virginia, or any of them places. Usually the largest number of the black folks in Saginaw descend from folks from Mississippi or Arkansas. Our family on both sides come from that Pearl River area in Mississippi. That's almost at the southernmost part of Mississippi, as far as like the southeast part of the state. Um, that little area out there historically is Choctaw territory. It's always been Choctaw land out that way, you know what I mean? So we about to get in a little bit into who our grandparents' families are or were. Because our DNA is deeply steeped in that land, Mississippi. You can almost consider that state our ancestral. Yeah, that state is our ancestral homeland for the most part, because our DNA is intertwined in that soil over there.
Yeah, and
So,
I wanted to ask you, like, so what do you think of like the Great Migration? Like, why would you, well, why would they like wanted us to come all the way up here and stuff like that this whole time? Like, because you would think that, yes, like we come from the South and stuff like that, and they wanted to
mhm.
keep, because you know the amount of residents and the amount of citizens is accumulates wealth and everything. So it was just like a whole like propaganda advertisement, if you ask me, because it was just like no difference from the so-called Trail of Tears. That's what they call it, the Trail of Tears and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and how they moved everybody to the south, and majority of them went to the west and stuff like that. So, what was your thoughts on the Great Migration for our people?
As it relates to our family, I mean, I would surmise that it's pretty much the same reason just about everybody else moved from Mississippi or Georgia or wherever they're from over to Michigan, Illinois, or pretty much anywhere up north. You know what I'm saying? It's better job opportunities down south. Most people down there were sharecroppers. You know what I'm saying? They're bound to the land, um, working for the white folks and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So gotta deal with all that, and then the regular, good old American racism, white supremacy.
yeah.
American is apple pie, man. So you got that shit going on, and all that. In our family's case, our grandma's husband, he found work at like General Motors, and brought our grandma up, and they had to save before they bring everybody else up. How much time? We don't know just yet,
Yeah,
but it was enough time, you know.
yeah.
And our grandma, God bless her, she was, she was uh, cleaning lady, for white folks
Hmm.
down there. She was doing that for a long time before they went to Michigan.
You know what? I never knew that. I always thought that she was a CNA or like a person that worked in the medical field this whole time. I never knew that she was a maid.
Mm-hmm.
That's new to me.
Yeah, I only found that out recently, man. She did that type of stuff. She didn't really like to talk about none of that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy because you see it like in movies, you see it on television a lot with with
Mm-hmm.
with those actresses picking up those particular roles, but it just hits differently when it was your own grandmother and a lot of our grandmothers.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
It is, man. We're only a generation from a lot of that nonsense that's going on. I mean, as far as down there, anyway. You know what I'm saying? Our grandfather, um, was a World War II vet. You probably, but a bunch of folks probably didn't even know he's a World War II vet. He served in the Eastern Theater, which where they were fighting Japan. He was serving in Okinawa. We all know that the Army treated a lot of black servicemen like crap,
Hmm.
even back then. You know what I'm saying? Bunch of stories about, the black servicemen being forced to eat in another cafeteria or in a bunker or something like that, while the white soldiers would sit and eat with the Nazis. Y'all, they supposed to be the enemies. You know what I'm saying? Bunch of that little nonsense. He didn't really talk about it that much, for what I know. Our grandfather died before almost our entire generation in our family was born, man. At least a decade before most of us were born. He died in 1975.
Damn.
There's a bunch of us, but there was only maybe about 3 or 4 grandkids that were around at that time.
Yeah, that just sucks, man. Cause I would have want to I would have really hoped that, cause you just sit back and think about like just how we grew up and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
we missed out on our having a grandfather. We really missed out on that, and not saying that things would have had changed, but it would have been really interesting if we would have had him when we was coming up, just
Yeah,
how
we
things would have had
got a
turned out.
different look. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And then also, most of us probably would have been growing up in Mississippi too. You know, so who knows how that would have went. Um, there's stories about our grandfather before, like our parents was born in New Orleans because that's where they were living for a time. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? 'Cause that was considered like the big city if you were in the deep south, you know, New Orleans. Um, our grandfather, he was actually really good friends and he was neighbors with Fats Domino.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Fats Domino, man, the rock and roll pioneer. Yeah, yeah, they was they used to hang out all the time and stuff. Do a bunch of our folks. Before that was before he got on.
Okay, yeah, that's wild, but still, like that
Mm-hmm.
that would have been so cool. Cause I just sit back and just think about just how God don't make no mistakes. So just imagine if we would have replaced our older siblings, you know what I'm saying, our brothers or
Yeah.
uncles, like if we would have came in the 50s or the 60s and just how that thing would have had played out because just all this we not our ancestors crap, man, that really be pissing me off when I hear that come from our own people. So I just want you to just elaborate on that because people really need to hear how we fought back a lot. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that they'll tell you about in those schools, how we fought back. And because they just think that the civil rights movement was just all about protesters and marching and we shall overcome and all this other stuff. But we was fighting. You know, a lot of those demonstrations, it was like bloodshed from both parts. So I want you to elaborate on that.
Yeah, man. I mean, everything that we learned in school, as far as like history, um, you know, the history of this country, and especially our own
Mm-hmm.
history, everything that we learned in school is bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all been a lie, you know what I mean? Like we get taught in school that Christopher Columbus discovered America and George Washington never told a lie and Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves and that's what the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We freed ourselves, man, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Our folks, our ancestors, man, we've been fighting back and pushing back. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the Stono Rebellion, and then Cherokee slave insurrection in 1842. You know the Seminole Wars down here in Florida that they try to suppress.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the second half of the so-called civil rights movement, when you know niggas was burning everything down from here to Timbuktu and shit to make to make people move. You know what I'm saying? They want to tell us that slavery only ended when Abraham Lincoln said so, and that's whack. That didn't happen at all. They want to tell us too that black folks got a little bit of rights with that we shall overcome, marching the streets and getting whipped on by the police, and not doing nothing back. And we took whippings enough before we got something, and that didn't happen either. And then they want to tell us that we all came from Africa on a slave ship,
Mm-hmm.
and that was pretty much our history. 1619 was when the first Africans got brought here, but there was already black folks here before that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I try to instill that in people because a lot of our people are lost. A whole lot of our people are just docile. You know what I'm saying? Because they just so programmed by the indoctrination and like, because I always feel like something wasn't right, just because they always try to exclude us from everything and just make us feel like we just from the jungle and that we didn't know anything or know any better, but we have built civilizations, and even the state of Mississippi alone was just a huge modern day Negro presence, just with the sculptures and the scenery. And nobody knew or nobody knows agriculture like we do. How they look, where they learned that at. You know what I'm saying? So I just always be trying to tell everybody that just because people were like sharecroppers or they was farmers, they weren't all slaves. You know what I'm saying? Because not the way that it was taught to us, like just the chains on our necks and the chains on our wrists and ankles shackled down. Like a whole lot of our people weren't going for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? We retaliated a whole lot and just was explaining to somebody about what really happened with the Civil War. Because there was a whole lot of blacks that fought in the Confederacy, and the Confederate flag alone was our flag first. And I explain that to people, and they look at me like, hey, are you lost your mind? And I'm like, no, like, because there's pictures, you know what I'm saying? There's pictures of all of this. If people really went out and find it, like, you can find all of this with just a simple Google search, and they will tell you everything that you need to know. But everybody, majority of the time, is looking the wrong way.
We created that, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? The flag. You know what I'm saying? We created the U.S. flag too. Created damn near everything that everybody uses around here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Black man, Garrett Morgan created the traffic lights and the gas mask that they used to use in World War I. Created that stuff. George Washington Carver was the leader in soil conservation. We know about Lewis Latimer, the dude that really created the light bulb, and the dude that discovered electricity too. But you know, he got Thomas Edison stealing shit, man. But he was stealing from everybody, man. He was stealing from Tesla.
I never have believed that story anyway. So that's why it's always funny, man. I really enjoy just hearing how great we are, and now it just seems like we just
everybody comes from somewhere. Everybody comes from someplace. It's just that when you hear us, our people, talk about where we come from, we get maligned and shit. We call, it call our history Afrocentric, but when you look at actual history, or the way that they like to present history, they present it as being Eurocentric, and that shit is false.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with our family history and stuff, yeah, we don't find out that like you just saw the 90-year-old family mystery concerning our great grandfather, John Alfred, our grandfather's father. Turns out the man's an Abram, and his family is dotted almost all over that part of Mississippi right there. One of the families that we're related to through them are called the Exposes down in Marion County. One of the guys, let me see. Now, our grandfather's great grandfather had a sister, Margaret Abram Expose, and she's the matriarch of that Expose family. They're known down there because one of her sons, Harry S. Expose, he was the first black man to be the postmaster down in that part of Mississippi. He became postmaster in the 1890s, bought up that land, and yeah, he was a mover and shaker down there. That's like our first cousin, 3 times removed. And he did well too, man, about as well as a brother could do in Mississippi, and after slavery.
Yeah. That's dope, man. And
You know what I'm saying? And those Abrams too, I wasn't able to find any records as far as any type of white people with the same last name. Where we get our last names is where a lot of them get their last names too. We were owned by white people, and we were owned by red Indians and stuff too. So I couldn't find any white Abrams in and around there on the 1850 or 60 census. So there's chances either they weren't slaves or they were probably owned by some red Choctaw.
yeah, and I want you to elaborate on like how deeply involved the so-called Indians played into the slave trade and all that stuff.
Okay, so here's the deal. Back then, all the Indians in the Deep South were like in like confederations. When white people came into these areas and civilized these areas, well, did what they do. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
The Red Indians, in those groups, they became what's called the 5 civilized tribes. You know what I'm saying? The Cherokee, the Choctaw, Chickasaw, the Creek, and the Seminole Indian group. You know what I'm saying? So what they did was, they got haircuts, converted to Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Get some clothes on. You ain't gotta be out here being wild and all this stuff no more. We give you land, money, and we'll give you slaves. But y'all sell out those black folks that you got amongst y'all, and then y'all gotta leave this land right here. Too. And they did all that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And when you look at a lot of what they like to call African Americans, when we were enslaved, say like in Mississippi and stuff, well, pretty much period. Like there's a small number of Africans that got brought over from Africa.
Yeah.
in relation to the rest of the Western Hemisphere. They got more Africans in Brazil and places like Haiti or Jamaica than they brought here, maybe 10%. Most of the black folks that were enslaved were the black folks that's descended from these Indian tribes, or the black folks that were already living here but then got sold by the Indian tribes into slavery, and they got mixed in with the black folks in Africa.
Man,
And all of it are called, the Negroes.
yeah, when you sit back and actually think about it, like it's just so fucking evil, man. They did us so dirty,
Yeah,
and they still doing us dirty. You know what I'm saying? But it just makes you just sick to your stomach, cause I tell everybody who be thinking that we gonna get reparations and stuff like that one day, and I tell everybody like, look, that's not ever going to happen, because they gonna have to admit their evil and their demonic agenda that they had carried out, and because it's a billion-dollar industry to keep us ignorant, to keep us the way that we are and stuff like that. Because I never really, like, when I look at myself, and I know that when you look at yourself too, I don't see or never saw no African. I always saw something more. I always saw something way more significant. And not to diss Africans, but we're not their people. You know what I'm saying? We just have similar prototypes, but we don't even look the same. Like far as like our skulls, our features and stuff like that. Like, cause when you look at a Chinese person and you look at a Japanese person, they two different people. They look totally different, but they just serve prototypes. Like, but they are totally two different people. And it's just when you say that you're indigenous to America, how come everybody get upset? You know what I'm saying? Because I had this one girl and she called me a wabo. So I was just like, what the hell does that mean? So I had looked that up. And I was like, oh, like you, you know what I was saying, but yeah, it's just everybody has a problem with us as soon as
and
we
don't
wake
don't
up.
count if nobody know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody know what that shit mean, man. What you mean?
yeah. It's just like we're pretty much the most hated, but everybody copy us. Everybody emulates us. Everybody dress like us. Everybody wants to talk like us. So you have people that's in all these different continents is emulating our music, our style.
Mm-hmm.
Like we impacted the world. So like once we figure out how powerful we are and stuff like that, I just think that it would be a better place. But maybe I'm fantasizing or dreaming too much about it. But I just think that once we really figure out who we are as a people, man, we can get a lot of stuff done. We have before.
Oh yeah, we already did all that shit, man. We fucking built this motherfucking shit, man. And everything up in it.
Oh,
The
no
key is,
doubt.
us being the ultimate survivors, though, man. We got some ultimate survivors in our family, man.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we got one ancestor in particular that embodies all that. Our he's our ancestor on both sides. The man's name is Moses Youngblood Bullock. In our family, between both our grandparents, he's the oldest documented member in our family. We were able to trace him back to the late 1700s. He was born in Virginia, though. He was brought over from Virginia. I have the record of his sale when his original owner died in 1826. So he got sold between. Luckily, he and his immediate family were never broken up, because every time when he got sold, they kept them all in the same family, the Bullocks, and then the young bloods that came later from Georgia that married into that family just before the Civil War. They traded between them too. So he was in the Bullock plantation, and his wife and some of their kids were in the young blood plantation, literally right across the street from them in Foxworth. So he had a bunch of sons, and he had a bunch of grandsons too. Two of his sons are direct ancestors of our grandpa and our grandma. That type of thing happened a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Where it'd be, you know, close families intermingling and stuff, you know, because it was slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody was packed in it with each other and shit, you know, like dogs in the kennel. You know what I'm saying? And then further east, they were breeding slaves and all of that stuff, breeding them with their families. So a bunch of that was going on. So he had a bunch of sons, and a bunch of them became some of the progenitors of almost all the black families over in Pike County, in Magnolia County, in Marion County, and Lawrence County, Mississippi. Almost all the black folks in that Pearl River area is related in some way, shape, or form through that. We got a bunch of famous relatives too that's related through there as well, man. We've known growing up that Walter Payton was our cousin on our moms, and he's our cousin on both sides, on Eddie and on the Alfred side. The Payton. Yeah. And Ruby Bridges is our cousin too. Yep. The little girl that integrated the schools down in the Deep South. Yeah, yeah, that's our cousin. Our blood cousin. The Bridges. She lived in New Orleans, but all of them were born in Tylertown. You know, where our Grandma Eddie's from. All of them were born in Tylertown, Mississippi. All of her family is from Tylertown too. All them Bridges, and there's a bunch of them. Yeah, those are our grandma's cousins that we didn't find out about until after she died. But you know, that's her family. The Bridges and the Cowards, all of them from Foxworth. So yeah, that's the people right there. Oh, also, I don't know who's looking, I know who's gonna see it, but yeah, we got a couple of rappers we related to too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we related to No Cap, No Cap, No Cap, No Cap, Snoop Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
It's our blood cousin. And he's our blood cousin through our ancestor, the man Moses. Moses Youngblood. Yeah, we got the same slavery era ancestor. Yeah. Snoop Dogg, his real name is Calvin Broadus.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's father, Snoop Dogg was named after his stepfather. His real birth father's name is Vernell Vernado. And he was raised in Magnolia, Mississippi in Pike County. And all those Vernados are descendants of that man Moses Youngblood. There's articles about Moses Youngblood.
Man.
Yeah, so that would make Snoop Dogg's father is our first cousin 4 times removed. His blood daddy. Yeah, them Vernados kin to us, man. And Daz Dillinger is our cousin too. Because his mom is also his father's sister.
Man, this DNA stuff deep, man.
Yeah, man. Yep, his father. Yep. Snoop Dogg's daddy and Daz Dillinger's mom is siblings. And also their brother just died a couple years ago. Is also our cousin Rio Vernado. His daughter is in WWE. You know, what's her name? Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Now her name is Mercedes Moné in AEW. Yeah, that's our cousin too.
Man, I'll be wanting. It's so crazy because I'll be wanting to like reach out to these people, you know what I'm saying, and just let them know.
Man, yeah,
like,
show them the tree, man. They probably don't even know this information. I bet you none of them know this information.
Oh shoot, it gets real scary because it's like you just never know who y'all related to because of the fact like nobody really does this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Actually take the time.
And Brandy and Ray J, they're related to Snoop Dogg on his father's side and not his mama's side. I don't know exactly where who their grandparents are, but I know that her parents, they're all from Macomb. All them black folks in Macomb is related to us too. They're related to our grandma.
Damn.
So if they Ronaldo, then they kin to us too, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Because, like I said, you just never know who your blood and this and that, and that's why people just really need to start asking questions. Because sure, you may have hooked up with either like your first cousin removed or your second cousin removed.
That was a story that our aunts told us time and again. You know, they couldn't really date no dudes up in town when they were coming up because all of them were about related. There's a town in Pike County called Jayess, Mississippi, spelled Jayess. All the black folks there are related.
Yeah, man, because sleeping with your cousin and having kids by him is nasty work.
Yeah. That's horrible level work. It is, man.
Oh, man.
Especially if you know the fact, like, oops, my bad, dog.
Oh man, like I would have like that trapped in the closet face, like what? Oh wow, man, that's wild, man.
Yeah, man. All them come from our grandma's side, but some of them go in that Alfred side too, with our grandfather. So we got a bunch of people on both sides that's blood related to each other,
Man.
but they had it like a lot of them older generations. They didn't talk about a whole lot of the old people's secrets. You know how they go. They'll take them secrets to the grave.
Oh yeah, most stuff. And
Maybe the details we ain't gonna know, but you know the meat and potatoes will always be revealed with time or a DNA test.
oh yeah, I want you to bring up our gangster ancestor. Like I forget his name, but I remember you telling me about.
Oh, another young blood descendant. Another young blood descendant. That's our great grandfather on our grandma's side. His father, his name was Willie St. Thompson. The stories that I got about him was that he was some type of outlaw or something like that. Like he made his way west, you know, because he came up during Reconstruction era and all that. So he made his way west, you know, like Washington State and Oregon and all that during that period. He had to get run out of town. He got ran out of the state because they about to lynch him because he wound up shooting some white guy in a salon. What was it about? We don't know. Would anybody care back then? No, that didn't matter. He's a colored dude. He violated a white guy back then in the 1800s. And slavery was over for like 10 years and stuff. So he made his way back home. Started a family. He went by a bunch of aliases. So the name Saint was part of an alias. That wasn't his actual middle name. That became his middle name.
Man, that's dope, man. Because they'll think that we invented that outlaw stuff like Billy the Kid and Butch Cassidy.
Yeah, the stories I got about our great grandfather was that he was known to be on some 2-pistol Tommy type of shit, man. You know, toting pistols and stuff like Yosemite Sam. Yep, and he was known for stepping on white dudes too, and that at a time where that type of thing gets you messed up out here. Our great grandfather was like that too, and his name was Jesse James Thompson. Ain't no it's a coincidence why he got named after Jesse James.
No. Hey, that is wild, man. It's just hearing about that.
Yep, pistol.
Man.
Man. Yeah, the Youngblood descendant. His Willie Saint's mother was a Youngblood, like a granddaughter of the man Moses.
Yeah, so I just wanted to because I remember they saying that we had like 300 cousins in Louisiana and all that other stuff. So all that pretty much came from the Thompson side, right?
From that side, yeah, because where Tyler Town's at, not probably I think right south of Wausau County is Washington Parish, Louisiana. Franklinton is the town. A bunch of our family lived there too. And some of them married in with families that came from Louisiana, like the Varnados, the white Varnados that owned them. They originally came from Louisiana. They were French.
Okay.
The Alfords. Now, not us, because our direct blood is Abram.
Okay.
But the Alfords, where they got the name from, those folks, the original folks there, they got moved from Louisiana too.
Yeah, man, that's wild. Like, and and it's just really important that each of us know this type of stuff, man,
Hmm.
because I just like, when you had told us, well, when you had told me about the first William Brown, man, I was stunned because
Hmm.
no one ever told me that I'm the second one.
Yeah, yeah, you are the second one. Now I heard stories like you when we was coming up that one of your forebears done got um killed by white supremacists down there. So the story that we always got, or how we understood it, was your grandfather's brother, but actually who that was your grandfather's uncle.
Mm.
Not that much older than your grandfather, but is your grandfather's uncle, William Brown, born in 1912.
Yeah, so that means they was 7 years apart, right? Or
Yeah, yeah.
close.
On your end, what is it? Your grandfather's his father's name was Bell, Bell Brown, and at least for a couple of generations, a lot of them guys had kids young.
Wow. Yeah, man. Like it's just when I first heard that, it's shocking. It just makes you think like, damn, like, because it's just really important that we establish a legacy, and I wear that name like a badge of honor now, because I used to hate my name and stuff like
Hmm.
that, but now, I gotta represent for him, and just it's just really important that we acknowledge these people because they once existed. And I'm still figuring out the names, and I still, because they are part of us, you know what I'm saying? Lineage and bloodline and stuff like that. So I
Hmm.
just look at it from like 50, 100 years from now, we going to be mentioned, or we going to be brought up or honored through our descendants, because that's the only way that we truly create immortality is through our descendants and what we pass on and what we leave behind. And
Legacy.
yeah, and and just the fact like no one ever like brought him up, or and he was what like 19 when he got killed.
Yeah, yeah. When he's 20 years old.
Mm, that's just, man, that's heartbreaking because you and I was around each other when we was like 19 and 20.
Yeah, I remember really good at 19. Wish I could get that back.
Man, me too. It just makes you think like, wow, just with just so much that we didn't get the opportunity to exhibit, get the opportunity to do.
Yeah, you barely even live life at that point, man. You know what I'm saying? Like most niggas in Saginaw, when they get most niggas that get killed at 19 in Saginaw, they die because some nigga clapped them. This brother died at that age because he got lynched. That put things into perspective real hard, especially when you look at your own family and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And because a lot of us, we came up, Midwest and all that. You know what I'm saying? We know what it is, with our grandparents and stuff, but because I'm thinking because we've been a generation removed from being down south and stuff. You actually removed from certain things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When you're down there, you know what I'm saying? And you want to remember some of that stuff. Because it ain't like it's any different. The scenery is different. The way they bake the cookies in the oven is different, but it's still gonna be trash cookies, man. And it's still the oven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, I ain't gonna lie,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying? Game being played.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I really love your scenery over there. I noticed in like the palm trees. I'm so
Oh
jealous.
yeah.
I'm so
Oh
jealous.
man,
For
it's
the,
probably where you at too, man. It's only gonna it's only gonna mean something once it's November, December.
oh, no doubt, man. But just to see that, bro, like,
Mm-hmm.
cause like you said, where we grew up, you know what I'm saying? Cause you practically a BB native, man, and stuff like that. And just the fact, like, from when you grew up until now, I know a lot of people don't believe nothing you be talking about when you mention Saginaw down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta be from the dirt to know what we talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just how our lives, man, made like a huge trajectory, man, just with how we turned out. Because I just be explaining to people, like my viewers and stuff like that, just how I came up and how I was brought up. And I just tell everybody, like, I chose to get better because I
Mm-hmm.
always give give people, like, know that you was responsible, like the earliest of like putting me towards this path of just knowledge and educating myself, because you always had them books, you always had them eyes on the prize tapes and stuff like that. And I just was just like, you know, what are you reading, or what are you watching and stuff, and it just made me interested. It made me wanted to just dig deeper into that type of stuff, man. But I always credit you as one of the people that got me down towards this path on early on, and it just allowed me to take ownership of my life and just be my own man and stuff, and that's just
I appreciate you, man.
yeah,
I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, legacies get passed down from father to son. You know, even bad ones. But you can alter them too. You know what I'm saying? They're determinate. Nothing's really set in stone. You know what I mean? And with us, uh, even if we got you know bad fathers and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? We're a continuation of our fathers.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We're a continuation of them, and our father is also our family name too. You know what I'm saying? Like my, my daddy and his daddy before him, and his before him, and his before him. You think back that far, you know what I'm saying? Think back that far in your family, like your father. Even if your father was a piece of shit or some deadbeat type nigga, you know what I'm
mm,
saying? Think back on who your father was and who his father was, and the father before him and the father before him. You ain't got to go up that high. You ain't got to go up to like number 10 to before you reach somebody in your family that was in chains already. Hell, you don't even gotta go up to number 5. Really, You know what I'm saying? And it makes you think, that's a person that I'm directly descended from that could possibly look just like me in the face, in the body build, and all that type of stuff. Disposition could have been that. Only instead of him living in the time that we living in now, he's alive about 170, 180, 190, 200 years ago, and he's enslaved on some plantation somewhere. Maybe it's rice, maybe it's indigo, maybe it's cotton, could be tobacco, could be working on the railroad, doing that. Could be forced to build some skyscraper or some bank or some college, Ivy League school, any of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? What was his thoughts living day to day life as his entire youth, pretty much his whole life, got stolen from him? You know what I'm saying? When you think that our great grandfathers and our great great grandfathers had their whole life and their youth and shit stolen from them, grandmothers too, stolen from them. That puts things in a whole different perspective. You know what I'm saying? Our folks here, they don't really understand a lot of shit because, you know, they don't have a sufficient knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? They don't got a sufficient knowledge of self because they don't really understand where they came from and who died in their family for them to exist.
Yeah.
Because 100 years ago, 100 years from now, after we long gone, or maybe some of us would be lucky enough to be crispy old to watch the rest of the world deteriorate. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Right.
Won't, you know what I'm saying? We black men, you know what I'm saying? Black men only guarantee about 65, 66 years, maybe. That's our lifespan. If we go beyond that, we super nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But usually we don't. That's just what it is. So for us, unless we live long enough, you know what I'm saying? And 100 years from now, and we talking about us in the same way, but they'll have more to go off of. Because we got videos, we got recordings, we got our own records and stuff. The people who gonna do the work to make sure stuff is gonna be done as far as your own family is concerned. Because nobody wanna look in no decide in like 2167 or something like that. You know, that year somebody start to go on whatever version of a DNA test or genealogy search or whatever. They'll look up a name, you know, Jon McQueen or William Brown or this person or that person and be like, who the hell is that? Who the hell is that? Like, you really want your great grandkids or your great great grandkids to look up your name somewhere and be like, who the fuck is that? I don't
Yeah.
That would be terrible. That would really be terrible, man, if some of them didn't know how some of their forebears were able to navigate this plane of existence.
Oh yeah, and I just feel like
because for us, we here right now because they didn't get killed.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And they here, they'll be there because we done made it. But what's the story in between that? How do we get to that point?
oh yeah,
Those are
and
some important questions that young folks got to ask. I mean, everybody could turn up and all that type of junk. But I mean, legacy is something that you leave behind after you gone and buried and all that type of stuff, and your kids about to get old. You know, you just gotta get out of that temporal, in the moment type of thinking, man. You know, hold it down for your forebears, because forebears held it down for us.
So no doubt, and I think about them now every day. That's why my work ethic is the way that it is now, because I want to do something very impactful. Okay. Okay, cause let me see. Oh, what's up, everybody? I know I had all these viewers. Yeah, it was such a good episode. I was so like, yeah. Shout out to you guys. I was so like in tune and just listening. Let me let me try to bring him back in here. Man, it was just so deep. I was just like really listening. But it's just really important that we all find out who we are, where we come from, who our peoples is. So we can be humble.
Back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, you good, man? I was just really enjoying it. It was just like you had me thinking a lot. Like just really just it was just really like refreshing and stuff. Because we don't be having these type of conversations
Go,
every
man.
day amongst amongst ourselves. Because everybody wants to be cool, everybody wants to be macho, whatever. But at the end of the day, you gotta have some type of soul inside you, man. I don't want to hear about the hoes. I don't want to hear about how much weed you smoke, how many niggas you shot, or how many pairs of shoes you have. Like you gotta have some substance. You gotta have something that's worth mentioning, something more honorable. Like I get tired of that low vibrational shit, man. Every day amongst our people, I get tired of that shit, man. I just want to if I can help it, I just want to be around people with some intellect every day because it's just refreshing. You know what I'm saying? It's because we need more conversations like this, just from black men alone, man. I really enjoyed this.
Oh yeah, man. I enjoy chopping it up, man. You know what I'm saying? It's always enjoyable doing this type of stuff, especially when it comes to like a history and our family history and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't want to be. I don't want to be um, patting on myself in the back super hard or trying to usurp nothing and nothing like that. But I don't know. I pretty much stepped in almost like on a de facto type of deal when it comes to our family history. You know what I'm saying? Become like the de facto historian.
Oh yeah, somebody
And it's
somebody has to.
ongoing.
Yeah, yeah, somebody has to because how else things will get passed on because nowadays things are becoming very irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Because the way technology is and AI is and stuff like that, like people having low attention spans every day. It just nobody really care to advance their mind or just change their mindset because comfortability is easy. You know what I'm saying? But I always tell everybody like real change comes with work. And that's what I had to do. I had to literally change my whole entire routine and stuff to the point of because I wanted to accomplish this platform. I wanted to be taken seriously because, you know, when we start a business and stuff like that, we already counted out before the grand opening. Well, you counted out as soon as you have that thought amongst our people, because what they gonna say? Oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's too hard. Focus on something realistic or more realistic. And I didn't even get the chance to feel yet. What the fuck? And I'm already counted out. So I really wanted,
Everybody.
yeah, and it's just sad, man. It's just really sad because it be your own people, not just like as a collective, but your tribe as well. So I tried to, I just wanted to, because I knew that in order for people to believe in the 1804 show, I had to believe in the 1804 show first. And once I had that notion to do it, everything else came into place because everybody just think that I have this secret or I have this strategy to get Hollywood people or get successful people on here, but I really don't, because people are impressed with people who work, who don't sit on their ass, who actually have a catalog or a resume behind them, because they go say, "Oh, okay, how many episodes you done, or what have you brought into the forefront? You know, how's your work ethic and stuff like that." So I was, you know, fortunate to allow my work to speak for itself. I don't really brag. If anything, I just state facts about what I've done. And if my facts makes you upset, then you're not working hard enough. Because I'm not no idiot. I know everybody who follows me, everybody who subscribed, everybody who's like a so-called Facebook friend or whatever. Everybody ain't proud of me. A lot of people waiting on me to fail. A lot of people waiting on me to crash. And a lot of people can't wait till something bad happens to me, but they're gonna be upset because ain't nothing gonna happen to me because shit, I got footage, I got a voice. My voice would be here when I'm no longer here. Well, they gonna be forgotten about after 3 days. But it's just amazing, just knowing that where we come from and stuff like that. I just feel like that a part of our family history and a part of our family lineage lives within me, and that's why I refuse to give up, because they ain't give up. You know, just because you going through like a tough time or a tough spell, like you can always turn it around. You just gotta keep living. You gotta just keep going, and that's just my mentality, and that's just what motivates me, man. Because we are descendants of slaves. We are descendants from the people that built the real pyramids, that shit, orchestrated what it is to be an American citizen today. But we also have to just learn to do better. We also have to take accountability of why the things are a travesty in today's era, because we bring a lot of negativity to ourselves as well, because we've been programmed to think that's positive, but it's actually destroying us, because it's taking away our essence, and we allowing just strangers to depict who we are and to run our families and run our communities. So we have to just learn to, you know, take ownership, take our ownership back, and take our warriorship back amongst people. So
That's why you gotta learn our history, not just a group, but you know, a family history too.
yeah,
And
because
all that shit's intertwined. All that's connected alongside one another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. No
Mhm.
doubt.
Uh, yeah, that's what that's all about. You know, we excel at making something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Man, that's what we excel at. Amongst other things, that's one of the main things we're known for is making some shit out of no shit, man.
Oh yeah, and everybody want that shit, you know. So
And everybody else, they can't do that. And
no,
then as we do it with a swagger, with a braggadocious type nature, and that's okay because it makes it look relatively easy. And that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we ain't destroyed yet.
yeah, no doubt, man. And I know that we had joked about this, but I really want to go to that slave master that owned our people and spit on his grave. I really want to do that. And I just think that we all should do it, you know, as far as like us as a people, you know, find out who own our families and just go and just, you know, give them a piece of your mind. Cause like, how can you just own human beings and just expect to acknowledge you as one of ours when you wasn't one of ours? We all know how that happened, and I refuse to say or to call him a ancestor or a relative because you know you came into our bloodline forcibly into our bloodline. It wasn't no wedding. There wasn't no hey, you can have my daughter, or or your son could have whatever. You know, it's just really like
I wasn't none of that.
no.
You know, be property, man. There I go. That's another reason black folks need to do their own genealogy research too, man. Because I'm not gonna say everyone, but you know, I'm pretty highly confident that most folks, most people up in their family tree is gonna have some type of white slave master up on it.
Hmm. Oh yeah, it's just sure that's by default, you know. But it's just like really just be pissing me off. Just the
Yeah, man. I mean, here we got like two or three.
hmm damn, that's just insane. And all this oh, I wanted to always ask you this. So do you think Willie Lynch existed for real?
Yeah, the man existed, and the stuff that he wrote existed too. And the stuff that he wrote, that's basically like a manual, basically like a how to be a good slave master manual, basically.
It's
Like you
just
want to tie in certain things, you know, as far as like, you know, like folks' nature and stuff like that. And they understood that stuff because they created a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They created a lot of those conditions. And, you know, just like any slave owner or anybody that's like a student of warfare or um, subjugation and stuff like that, you know, you understand you got to cow the warrior class because they'll make it easier to get to the women and the kids. They're weak.
yeah, like it's just really like no different from taking the fathers out the homes. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It was the same thing because they knew that the
Yes, thank
man,
you.
yeah, that the man was going to dominate, their tactics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary, bro. Like, but also it's just like when you aware of it, because nowadays just with the gender war stuff with oh the women running everything, women making more money than us, and they don't even realize that it's another tactic of
Yeah,
the
yeah, all this is by design.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is deliberately said about. People just gotta understand when they getting played. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Unfortunately, it's enough people that wind up dying or being in jail for life before they realize that they've been had.
right. And I just be cracking up at that shit because this is, because a lot of us was raised by our mothers, man, and they just think that like we was um like lucky that we was fatherless and that we supposed to have everything figured out. We supposed to have everything equipped, but just like when I meet someone, I always explain to them that I don't have everything together. I don't have all the answers. So don't expect perfection. Just expect authenticity because I can be authentic. You know what I'm saying? I can compromise. I'm not lazy. I know what I can bring to the table, but it just be a whole bunch of propaganda and rhetoric amongst the masses with the money thing. Because I know a lot of fuck niggas with money. I know a lot of bitch ass niggas with cars. I know a lot of bitch ass niggas with clothes and all that other stuff, but not every man is a man, or not every male is a man, but I would say
Fact.
men, but I would say men who actually take matters into their own hands and pull themselves by their own bootstraps. Those are men to me, the ones who actually profited off something that they created. I'm a man, regardless of what people may think or what people may say, because it's easy to go and work at a job or a corporation and get a paycheck, but to be able to, be your own boss and be your own entrepreneur, and you
Right.
actually was paid or compensated for that, or you're a genius.
Mm-hmm.
When you can actually get paid for something that you created or something that you built, you're a
Yeah,
genius.
man. I mean, money don't work the lane, man. Uh
Yeah.
oh, my phone.
Oh, it's all good, bro. We can end this right now, man. But I appreciate you for coming. Okay, guys. I just want to thank everybody who tuned in. I want to thank everybody who liked the video. And that's my big brother slash cousin. And it's always a pleasure of talking to him. And I was just so happy, like, just to get all this information because I just advise everybody to do your own research, do your own family research, and see what happens. May change and impact your life. But we finna sign out, guys. I'm gonna holler at y'all later and be safe out here. And, and subscribe to the channel, the 1804 Show Chapter 2. If you want to leave a donation, Cash App, $, the 1804 Show. And I'm out. Have a good night. Peace.